What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another prep series vlog. We're currently about 4.5 weeks out from my first show, which is very exciting. And I basically just wanted to run you guys through a full day, pretty much of eating and training today. So we're in a really good spot. Obviously, we're only about 1 kilo away from our weight cap, which is a really nice spot to be in, 4 or 5 weeks out. It means we don't have to stress as much. We don't have to rush to make weight, which I think in terms of presenting your best physique is obviously a really good thing. So for the next 3 days, we're on a 3-day diet break refeed. So 3 higher carb days, which is amazing. And we've dropped cardio off as well. So basically the idea is to test a peaking strategy or carb up strategy and just see how that changes the overall physique in terms of presentation, fullness, hardness, all that type of stuff by just reducing some fatigue and allowing a bit more recovery. So basically today I'll run you guys through what a full day of eating looks like for me on a high carb day. So just for your reference, my diet in calories, or my average calorie throughout the week for the last couple of weeks has been about 2,000 calories, which is not that fun. So today we're up at around 3,100 calories. So quite a bit extra food today, which will definitely be nice. And we should definitely see some training improvements, especially for legs today. So I'll run you guys through a full day of eating. We're gonna make some breakfast now. We just got back from our little walk. We try and get our steps done nice and early so it's out of the way. We're gonna make some breakfast. I'll show you guys what I'm having, maybe run you through it. And then we'll be training legs a little bit later this morning. So I'll run you through the full leg workout. We've got our quad dominant session. So I'll see you guys soon. All right, so we've got quite an elaborate system when it comes to making breakfast. It's always very structured, sort of the same time every morning. And I suppose in terms of a prep, that's a really good thing because routine and structure is the thing that will get you through a prep. So typically every morning we do cardio anyway. So generally our cardio is 5:15 till 6:15. We're sort of home by 6:15, 6:30, make breakfast, which it's about 6:30 now. And in terms of breakfast, even today on my high carb day is literally exactly the same stuff. So I think this is the mistake a lot of people make, especially when they're dieting or whatever, and they have a high carb day or a refeed day, and they try and go crazy and eat all these different foods and try and play macro Tetris, where they just cram a lot of shit in to try and reach their calorie targets, which isn't generally a good thing, because when we start adding in random foods that you haven't been eating before, it can sort of wreak havoc on your guts. You can end up with digestive issues, all these other things that can start playing havoc the deeper you get into your diet as well, and things you just kind of want to avoid, to be honest. So for me, it's always just consistency wins every time. Same meals, same meal structure, same meal timing. I'm just literally increasing the serving sizes. So this morning, my veggie omelet, all I'm doing is just literally adding a couple of extra muffins. So just a little bit of extra carbs for this breakfast, and I'll just literally do that for the rest of my meals today. So I've got some pumpkin in some meals, I've got some rice in some meals, I've got some oats later. So literally just bumping up the serving sizes on each one. The one caveat to that being, though, when you're dieting, obviously you need to make some food substitutes, especially with carbs, to just have lower carb foods, higher fiber foods. So for me, the big one I had to change was dropping rice out because it is very high in carbs. And I had to substitute it for things like charisma potatoes and pumpkin and things like that, which obviously does increase the fiber intake. But on these high carb days, we really want to try and keep fiber low, or as low as possible, just to avoid those digestive issues. So even for today's example, to increase those carbs, I didn't really want to bump up the pumpkin or the potatoes, because again, that would just send my fiber through the roof. And generally when fiber's too high, you end up bloated, gassy, really uncomfortable. So all I've done today is basically just take out some potatoes from one of my meals, and then my sort of pre-workout, post-workout meal, I've just added rice back in just because I've got the extra calories to do so. And then even for my carb choices, I've literally been eating these English muffins every single day, because again, they're pretty low in carb. But now that I do have the extra calories for today, I'm just adding an extra one. So again, it's nothing fancy. There's no crazy new foods that I'm not used to that could mess with my digestion, because I know These are really satiating. They sit in my guts nice, so why change it, right? Just literally add an extra one, get some more carbs in. All right, guys, so like I said, nothing fancy. Meal one about to go down. Literally the same breakfast I've been having every single day on this prep. We just added one extra muffin, so it's about an extra 20 grams of carbs for this meal, which as we get closer to training, the carbs get a little bit higher around those sort of post-workout training meals. But I won't say too much. I'll shut up. I'm starving. I've been waiting for this carb up day for a while now, so I'll rip into this. And I'll see you guys for meal 2 later on, which will be my probably pre-workout meal because we're going to train a little bit earlier today. All right, we're back for meal 2. So this is actually very exciting because I get to have more rice this meal. So literally, like I said to you guys before, all my meals are going to stay the same. We're just either swapping out some higher fiber stuff for some more carby stuff. So this meal was my pre-workout meal. Typically it was just some potatoes with chicken, but because we got the extra carbs, ditch the fiber before training so it's not so heavy on the guts. We've just got some white rice, 100 grams of jasmine rice. I've got about 200 grams of chicken breast. And literally like just super simple, plain, boring stuff. And I mean, prep hack and the psychotic stuff that I do on prep now, just to kind of make it feel like I'm eating more food, is chopping up my chicken so it's smaller pieces. Because I think it's so easy, like when you're dieting and you're so hungry, you just do stuff unconsciously. And like when you've got a meal there, it's so easy to just scoff it down because you're so hungry. So having these little silly like habits in place have just really helped me stay on track, and literally just cutting up my chicken into smaller pieces. So I have to actively pick up the little piece. I have to actively chew it, and it makes me more conscious of what I'm doing as opposed to just like mindlessly eating. As with all my food, I tend to put some salt on, so I just do a little bit of pink salt, and especially because this is my pre-workout meal as well, it definitely helps having a little bit more sodium in there. And my little low-calorie hack, I know I've spoken about this a million times, but low-calorie chili sauce, and I actually found one. This is Frank's Red Hot Sauce, which is actually less calories than sriracha. It's 1 calorie per teaspoon, so you can see very precise with my measuring. But literally 1 calorie, so like when calories are so low, every calorie counts. So literally having something like that is a lifesaver. Game changer, just to give food, I guess, some sort of enjoyment, make life a little bit more enjoyable for these last few weeks. So I'm going to rip into this meal and we'll get ready for the gym. I'll mix up some pre-workout and we'll get going. We've got quads, so I'll see you guys there. All right, so meal 2 done, pre-workout meal in, a little bit of carbs, so hopefully got a little bit of energy for training today, and I'm going to mix up some SUPPS. Get ready for the gym for our quad workout. Now, one thing I do want to highlight is supplementation, because it's something I do get a lot of questions about regarding like what supplements should you take, or what are they good for, or what are the benefits. But basically, like, the word supplement means you supplement things into your diet that you're either missing or that you need to add. And I think a lot of people go wrong here, where they just try and take like every single supplement under the sun. They don't even have a program, they don't track their nutrition, they don't do anything, and they go and spend $500 on SUPPS and they think, well, magic, I'm gonna get in shape. When in reality, that's not the case at all, and you know, clearly it's a bad way of going about it, and also spending way too much money that you don't need to. So for me, literally like my peri-workout supplementation, very, very simple. On my leg days, I'll use a high stim pre-workout, so it's got like caffeine and some other stimulants in there. Pretty much on my leg days, because those are the ones that are, you know, pretty hard and pretty grueling, so I need a little bit more energy to get through those sessions. But generally most other days, like upper body sessions, will just be like a non-stim pre-workout, which is just more pump, focus, blood flow, that type of stuff. And then literally during training, some aminos, which has got some electrolytes, again, when it's like hot and you're sweating, you want to replace those electrolytes, and some creatine monohydrate. So like very simple stuff. Obviously, I'm with Muscle Nation. I'll leave a link below if you guys want to go check them out. You can save some cash as well. And in terms of general supplementation, that's really it. Like obviously outside of training stuff, I'll take some protein powder, like to meet my daily protein quota, whether I put it in some oats or I have it post-workout. But other than that, like general daily health supplements that I take first thing in the morning, things like fish oil, magnesium, zinc, vitamin D3, all very simple stuff to just kind of manage my health and the things that I need to do. So in terms of supplementation, very simple, very straightforward, and ticking boxes that I need to get done. All right guys, so a couple of meals out of the way. We're in the gym now, hitting quads. first leg workout of the week, and on the high carb day, definitely makes a difference having a bit of energy, so it should be a good workout today. I've covered this a million times and on my Instagram posts and TikTok posts, so if you're not following me, go check it out. But basically we start off these quad workouts typically with some isolation movements first. So we had seated adductors first, 2 working sets, 12 to 20 reps. And then we're moving on to some hamstring curls before we move into our meat and potato movements like leg press and split squat, mainly from that fatigue management standpoint. Like 4.5, 5 weeks out from my shows now, we're really just trying to manage fatigue. So doing those heavy compound movements later in the workout means the overall load is probably a little bit less. So the fatigue we accumulate from those exercises hopefully is a little bit less, and we can manage fatigue a little bit better as we get through the week. So we're jumping leg curls. I'll see you guys over there. All right, something important to note when it comes to training hamstrings, so that you're not just doing random shit throughout the week and just choosing random exercises. I want to be able to give you a bit more of a framework so you can structure your training better. The hamstrings get trained through like hip hinge movements and knee flexion movements. So that's things like deadlift variations, RDLs, good mornings, back extensions, and then leg curl variations. So typically what I'll do with my training is I'll have a quad focus session where I've got my really heavy quad compound stuff, and I'll use some hamstring isolation movements, which I'll class as the knee flexion exercises. So things like leg curls, and you've got tons of variations you can use. Single leg kneeling, you've got standing, you've got lying, you've got seated. And then my later workouts, so my second workout of the week, which will be my hamstring focus workout, that's where I'll use my heavy deadlift variations, my hip hinge compounds, to really train the hamstring through that hip hinge action, more in that length and range, which also gives us the benefit of some like spinal loading. So you train the erectors, but also the glutes in that end range when you finish each rep. So when you're setting up your training, it makes sense to kind of have 2 different variations spread throughout the week, maybe one heavier session, one lighter session, and you can just kind of choose which one fits into your program and which one is more appropriate. Oh, come on. Oh yes. All right, so our meat and potato movement of this quad workout was 45-degree leg press. We had 2 working sets. So in terms of overall quad stimulus for this week, it's actually not a lot. I think in total, I'm only doing about 4 or 5 sets of quads per week, but the stimulus that I'm getting from those exercises is so high, and my recovery capacity is so low that I actually don't need a lot to get, you know, a pretty good workout or pretty good stimulus out the whole week. So to finish this workout, just got 1 working set Bulgarian split squats. Because the stability demands are so high, we're doing this at the end of the workout. It makes it so much harder. 1 work set, 12 to 20 reps, and that's enough for this quad workout. Later in the week, we've got our second posterior chain dominant workout with some RDLs, some more leg curls, and some back to finish off the week. So I'll see you guys after this one if I'm not dead. So one tip with your split squats, there's a few different ways you can do it. You'll notice with this one, because we're really trying to emphasize the quads, I'm staying up really tall, so really vertical torso, and I'm driving my knee forward, so knee over toe, which really lengthens that quad and gives me the most bang for my buck when it comes to training my quads. And you'll notice when you see other people do it, maybe they're leaning forward a little bit more, maybe they've got their foot further out, which does emphasize a little bit more glutes, a little bit more hamstrings in that stretch position. So
Depending on what you're trying to target, just remember, foot nice and close, vertical torso, more quads, foot out a little bit further, leaning forward more hamstring, more glutes. All right, so to finish off this lower body workout, we just got some kneeling rope crunches, 3 working sets, 10 to 15 reps, nothing fancy. And I think a lot of people are confused when it comes to ab training, and I see it all too often, people in the gym doing 500 exercises, bouncing around, sweating, doing, you know, mountain climbers and leg raises and sit-ups and 5,000 reps of all these random movements. When in reality, when we're trying to train the abs, we really only need like 2 movements. The main function of the abs is to flex the trunk, and we can do that by either moving the top of the torso, so bringing the ribs down to the pelvis, or bringing the pelvis up towards the ribs. So my 2 main variations are either like a rope crunch variation or a hanging leg raise variation or some sort of decline leg raise variation, which I'll alternate during the week. So I'll have one session where I do a rope crunch, I'll have one session where I do a leg raise variation, and that's really it. Anywhere between like 4 to 8 sets per week is plenty. The abs get trained tons during all of your loading movements where you've got barbells, chin-ups, everything like that, where you need to stabilize the core. So you don't need a lot, it doesn't need to be fancy. Keep it really simple, and I promise you'll have some good abs. But anyway, that's enough from me. This quad workout's done. I'm fucking starving. I'm gonna go home, have a post-workout meal. I've got a big bowl of rice bubbles, which I'm so excited about, so I'll see you guys there. All right, so we're back after training. It's time for my post-workout meal, and this one I've been looking forward to for a little minute now. So, because obviously we've got higher carbs today, we are opting for something high carb post-workout because we want that nice little insulin spike post-workout. We want something super easy digesting, not too much fiber at all. So literally got some rice bubbles. So I've got 120 grams of rice bubbles. So let's see how that works out. See if we fit it in this bowl. It's actually a lot of food. Boom, look at that. So literally all I'm gonna do is mix some protein. No, it doesn't sound that exciting. Mix some protein with some water, and that's gonna be my post-workout meal. And then I'll see you guys for my next meal, which is just chicken and rice. So again, super simple, low fiber, high carb, just trying to fill out for the next couple of days and recover after being in this dieting phase for 20 plus weeks. All right, so just woke up from a little nap. I didn't realize how tired eating carbs makes you. I had like double the amount of carbs I normally have in a normal day. So a little bit sleepy, but legs was a hard workout, so pretty wrecked. But meal 4, which is the same as meal 2. So again, like not super exciting. Literally just some chicken breast. I got 200 grams of chicken breast, 100 grams of uncooked rice. So not very exciting, not much to show you guys, but I'm gonna whack that in the microwave for a couple of minutes. I'm gonna take Gabby to Stacks launch event tonight, so I'll quickly scoff this meal down, get her out the door, and then I'll be back for meal 5, get some client check-ins done, get some programs done, get some videos edited, and I'll show you guys that one. A little bit different because it's further away from training, a little bit more fiber, a little bit less carbs, so I've got like some pumpkin, some turkey breast, and some vegetables, again, because we sort of don't want that really high fiber stuff around training. We want it later in the day where we can digest it a little bit better. And then my last meal tonight before bed with, which is some oats and some fruit and a little bit of dark chocolate and some almond butter, which I'm really excited about because I get more oats. Usually having like 60 grams and I'm having 100 grams. So it's a very exciting day. And then I think tomorrow, and fingers crossed, please Luke, we're doing another 3rd day on Friday as well. So that'll be nice. We'll see how the physique looks at the end of the week.
and hopefully body weight doesn't jump up too much. Typically when I have my high carb or refeed days, my body weight actually goes down because that systemic stress comes down, inflammation comes down, and it gives the body a chance to rest and digest and kind of soak up a lot of those nutrients. So fingers crossed we have a good outcome towards the end of this week. Physique looks a lot better, and we're more rested, well recovered for another week of pushing, and that'll have us pretty much at almost 3 weeks out. So I'll see you guys for meal 5. I'm gonna smash this one down and get out the door. All right, guys, we're back in the kitchen for meal 5. I feel like I've been in the kitchen all day. It's great. I love eating food now. So I thought I'd be a bit proactive and get this one organized a little bit earlier because I'm going to be eating the same foods tomorrow as well. So I may as well get my dinner organized tomorrow because I've already prepped my meat and my vegetables. I just need to add a bit more carbs. So I'm just going to add a couple 100 grams of extra pumpkin to both meals for tonight and tomorrow. And an absolute game changer when you're on prep is the air fryer. Like super easy to cook food, no oil, you don't need anything to like add extra calories, but pumpkin in the air fryer, absolutely goated. Crispy, you get that nice caramelized flavor. It doesn't burn it too much, it doesn't go soggy or like gross when you put it, you know, how you put it in the oven and it goes a bit soggy and mushy. Air fryer, goated. I do all my potatoes, all my pumpkin in the air fryer. So I'm gonna whack that in about 20 to 30 minutes, depending. Might give it a little toss around, put some salt and pepper, and I'll show you guys what I'm having for meal 5. All right, we're back in the kitchen for the 6th time for today, and it's time for my last meal. It's just after 7 p.m. and we have some oats. Which I'm actually very excited about. So I might have to use a bigger bowl because I've got a little bit of extra oats now. I've got 100 grams, so that's very exciting. I might use this one. All right, so this is the final meal for the night. So just before bed, I usually go to bed about 8:30. So having a little bit of extra carbs right before bed definitely helps with sleep. And I think especially if you're in a deep fat loss phase, that's one of the tools you can definitely utilize to hopefully just increase sleep quality and duration a little bit more. Is just a nice big bowl of like oats definitely helps, but just generally carbs before bed helps reduce cortisol, obviously reduce overall stress, and generally increase sleep quality. So little hack you guys can use if you are in a fat loss phase. But I'm excited, I'm starving, I'm gonna make this, I'll show you guys how it looks, and then I'm probably gonna get ready for bed. So I'll see you guys after I make this meal and we'll rip in. Now I know that probably doesn't look like much to most of you out there, but after 20 or almost 20 weeks of dieting, that looks like absolute heaven. So last meal of the day, meal 6, oats, berries, dark chocolate, a little bit of almond butter. I'm gonna rip in and I'll see you guys in a sec. All right guys, that's it from me. Carb up day 1. You saw my full day of eating with the high carbs refeed strategy that we had in place. A little over 3,000 calories for the day, so definitely feeling a lot better. A little bit more optimistic, a little bit more energy today. You saw the quad focused leg workout, so that was a tough one. We've probably only got like 3 more of those workouts and then we're done with leg training for this prep. So I wanna thank you guys for tuning into another prep vlog. Make sure you do all that fun YouTube stuff, like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. It allows me to make more fun videos every single week and hopefully reach more of you guys every single time. But until the next episode, see you later. I'm out. Peace. We'll speak soon.